5 years, $255 million extension, 179.3 in guarantees. It actually comes out $5 million less per year than Kyler Murray. But as I said, I think the golden nugget, and before I bring Garry on, is the fact that he's got a no trade. And that no trade means he's got control of his own destiny. Like, you can't send him to a shitty team for picks if something goes sideways. And that's the respect that both organizations have. Now, it's only 15 ball games. You feel comfortable with this risk because it is a risk. Let's bring our friend Garry Cobb in from Fox 29, the Eagle himself here. Quite a number, huh?
Oh, yeah, quite a number. I will say, though, because it's set back a bit, like in that first year, he's not really getting the money so much, in salary wise. So they could pretty much hang on to everybody that they've got. So, they were able to do that. But, man, it's some serious money. And really, I think that what they do is they believe in him. I mean, they were talking about how hard he's working now. I mean, he came right back in. And so that's what it really is about. It's not just Jalen Hurts, the player. It's Jalen Hurts, the person. That's what they're investing in. And you can see that in some ways, the way the contract is structured, it's for the better of the team. See, to where he's not taking the money right away. It's really in 2024 when he really gets the big hit. See,
you know what I got to say, Garry, about the organization here. I mean, for them to have memory loss of that whole Wentz deal, and for them to put their chips in and push it in like this, for a smaller sample size than even what Wentz had.
Yeah,
like you said, they're paying for the story, but I mentioned this early, Garry. He's never going to be the passer Mahomes or any of these other guys, but they're paying for the uniqueness, aren't they?
That's right.
Of what he brings to the table on and off the field. Is that how you see it?
That's clearly it. It's, and as good as he played. Now he had a great year last year, but he doesn't come in.
Was that worth $55 million to you?
That and what they expect he's going to give them this year and the year after, because of the work ethic, and that's why it's Jalen Hurts, the person, because, not every guy, come on, there's some great players you go, nah, I wouldn't give them that much because, the guy's a great player, but is he going to be in there every morning when you knock in? He's already in here. Man, golly, we can't get this kid out of here. That's what, is part of this. That they believe in him, that this kid wants to be great, And
has it changed so much for me and you, Garry, that you're being paid for the expected?
Well, no, I think that's always been there. I mean, when they give you a contract, they're thinking they're going to get something special coming from you. So that is a part of it. But it's not. But like I said, I think more than other players. It's not just Jalen Hurts, the player. It's Jalen Hurts, the person, because, what does he do for the rest of the guys? See, they know, hey, this is our quarterback. He works harder than anybody in here. So that means everybody steps to that door. You can't go, hey, man, I'm going to chill out a little bit. No. You're not chilling out. We want to win right now. So he's practiced with that type of fever. And, because he's been a great player. Like this past year, I mean, it was sensational. Would I say that about a year before that? No, I wouldn't say that about it. And would I say that he just blew me away the year before? No, I couldn't say that. So, you're just talking about 1 year, but it's 1 year because of Jalen Hurts, the way he works, the kind of guy he is. If he didn't have all of those special qualities as a person, where we're confident this kid is going to be working like this 5 years from now, where we got to look, man, we got to close the building, man. You got to go home, man. We got to close the building. That kind of a guy, And because he's been that kind of a guy, and they believe he's going to always be that kind of a guy, that's part of why they gave him the money too. And that definitely plays into it because just 1 year. I mean, come on, after just 1 year, as great as the year was, it was
Agreed.
1 year.
Agreed. It's 1 year, but let me throw this over to the Howie and Jeffrey Lurie here too. Boy, I'll tell you something, man. For them to give him $255, $51 per, and then to add the golden nugget and the golden egg of no trade.
Yeah.
Gary, how many players do you and I know that had complete control of their destiny? And that, to me, you could say that one guy's contract is worth more than this, but man, when you have control of your own destiny,
I know.
To me, I think that's a symbol from the front office going, hey, dude, for all the things you do off the field, here's the ultimate nugget that players don't. To me, Gary, that non-trade is like having a guaranteed contract because you're guaranteed to be able to dictate what your future is.
Without a doubt. And they wouldn't have done it if it wasn't the quality of this kid, and I wouldn't be getting into and keep saying that.
I think it's imperative, important. I do.
It's a huge part of it. If this deal would not have taken place because, come on, as great as he was, it's 1 year. Come on, it was 1 year. And there's some great players that after 1 year they go, no, that's just 1 year. But they say 1 year because of the kind of person the kid is, and that they believe in him. And I think they believe in him as a person, probably even more than him as a player, because
absolutely, Gary,
he's a stand-up kid.
What's great about you were in both places, and I was with you with Dallas. I said this to people out there about Emmitt Smith. Everyone was always under the notion that Emmitt Smith had the better O-line than Barry Sanders. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Martune was there under Landry.
That's right.
Kevin Gogan was there under Landry.
That's right.
Nate was there under Landry.
Yep. The center. Yep.
The center was there. Yep. I mean, all those guys that they had there. Crawford Kerr was there.
Yep.
Under Tom Landry.
That's
and
right.
They played for him for 3 years prior to Jimmy showing up.
Nate was there too. Nate Newton.
When you put an elite back, he made that line elite.
Yes, he did.
What would you do with a guy like Bijan Robinson taking some of the heat off your $51 million quarterback that you have to protect more now so than ever, and you put him behind the elite O-line? How does that not make more sense to where the offense would immediately feel another impact? Plus, he could potentially be your fourth best wideout behind Goddard, and there's your guy who's taken over for Quez. How does that pick not make sense? And by the way, there's the rumor out there that the Patriots want to trade the 10 to get the Paris Johnson, and the Eagles go down to 14 and they take Bijan Robinson. Would you be a fan of all that?
Well, I mean, if I expect this type of thing, because sitting there at 10, I kind of think, knowing Howie, the guy loves a good deal. Okay, he loves a good deal. I think he goes home and he's dreaming about that good deal. He's going like, oh man, that just felt good. He likes that. So I think if somebody comes into him, and I could see at 10, because these guys are starting to get the hots for these quarterbacks. So moving up there to 10, you could see that as a spot. So I would not be surprised if he were to do that. And if he were to do it and get some extra picks, I'd say Howie's done it again, because adding another weapon, because really right now, boy, a defense looking at this offense,
they couldn't stop it.
The defensive coordinators, they're not getting any sleep right now.
And if you add a Dalvin Cook or a BJ Robinson, Gary, I got some trade talk that I talked to, like Frank Reich, Tom Telesco, Kevin Colbert. I talked to Bruce Arians, and some conversation going around on the Eagle picks. And tell me what you think of some of these picks.
Okay.
And what the numbers are. For the Eagles to move up to number 3, the Cardinals would get the Eagles 10th, 30th, and number 2 in 2024. Is that too rich to go get Will Anderson?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's a special player, but I don't think it's something that they probably should do because there are other people they need. There are other positions they need to fill.
Guard.
Yeah, so I couldn't see doing that. I mean, I know that he's a great player, but no, you can't do that because there are too many spots they need to fill on that. You look at the defense, you look at offensively. I just don't think you just want one player. That's just, I think, putting too much in just one player.
Here's the Eagles moving up again to number 5, potentially land on Jalen Carter. The Seahawks would get the 10th pick, and they would get the second rounder, number 62 in 2023.
Woo!
And 2024, a third for the Eagles to move up to 5. And Seahawks take the 10th. Too much?
They can't do it. I don't think they can do it. I think that that they can't be on that side right now because they got these holes. They got holes in the defense right now. Because you look at the safety position. Who did it? Come on, they got to
Reed Blankenship.
Yeah, Reed Blankenship. But you just too light up there. I think because you got to be able to send NFL players out there. I mean, you don't have to send a great NFL player out there, but you got to have NFL players at those positions because of the way they throw the ball in the NFL. So you got to have a kid that's out there that can tackle in the open field. That means you got a guy that's a game breaker. He got to tackle this guy in the open field now. So they've got to have people, safeties. They've got to be able to tackle in the open field. So that's why I still think they've got to add some people. And I think knowing the way they are, they're not going to put so much into one player.
Here.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers. Now, this is the Eagles trading down.
Okay.
The Eagles would trade down to 19. They would get a second rounder in 2023, the number 50th pick, and then a 5th rounder in 2024, and the Bucs would get the 10th pick. So the Eagles, in theory, would get 19. You could take Robinson there.
Yeah.
You would get a second rounder, have another 2. See, you would get basically 2 players this year and another one in 2024, a 5th rounder. Is that not enough?
I would like more, even if I get somebody, and I think that they're going to be where there's a 4th in there and there's a 5th rounder in there because they don't have anything in those rounds. Knowing the way Howie is, he wants something in each round. He would like to have something because let's say he got somebody there who they really, really like. They want to be able to get them. So that's, I could see and I could see where these teams would say, okay, suppose we got to add a 5th. They don't value those picks as much. So I think that could happen.
Here's something you might like.
Yeah.
It's with the Raiders. Eagles would move down to number 38 this year in 2023. They would get a 4th rounder in 2023, number 109, and a 4th rounder in 2024. And the Raiders would get the 30th pick. Now, you got to think of this. 30, as you and I know, 30 to 38, those players might be in the same pool when you're talking about grading.
Yeah.
So you're probably still around the 30th player, and you're not overdrafting down there. So you would get, in theory, Gary, 3 players.
Yeah.
Okay, you would get the ability to get 3 players out of that.
Now, that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of deal Howie would make. See, that's the kind of deal I could see him making because he wants those picks. And, they've got guys who they've got their eye on, and they say, yeah, this kid might go here, but we value him up here. See, so that's the way they rationalize that is they say, well, we have this kid rated here. And we think he's as good as these 3 players that are going up here. So, I think that's the kind of deal I could see them making. Because I definitely expect 30 is a pick, which if they get who they want at 10, at 30, I can see them wanting to get more picks, being willing to trade down. Let's say, let's say 8 spots or 10 spots, trade back, get picks for rounds 4 and 5 and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Do you believe that the Eagles need to upgrade the third wideout? Let me stop you.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me stop you though and go like this. And I want you to think about this. So you get a back that can catch the ball like Robinson or Dalvin. You put him back there.
Yeah.
Isn't the threat of Quez, Gary, not so much he's going to catch 35, 40 passes for you.
Yeah.
But he's going to beat you deep. I mean, replacing Quez Watkins with a guy who has 20 catches, it don't matter. But I still have the fear factor on the field that this guy could stretch the field out. What's more important, 20 catches or the fear that this guy could stretch the field out?
The fear is definitely more because you got some outstanding receivers that are able to work inside, and with that deep speed, it opens it up even more because there's always that fear there that we're not paying attention to this kid, and all of a sudden he's going by you. The whole thing is though they need him to step up his game though. He's got to be more reliable than he was, but he definitely is a weapon that people don't realize it. Looking at the tape, you look at it closer, you can see this guy's opening up because he's forcing him to get out of there because of the deep threat. And so,
but don't you think that is also part of the whole passing offense, that when he's out there, that's got to have some collateral impact on AJ and Devontae's game. Yes. You put another possession wideout out there. Yeah. Does that change the philosophy again of the approach of the offense? Because when I'm AJ and I'm running in routes or I'm Devontae running a curl, and all of a sudden I know there's a guy that's streaking down the sidelines, I got to account for that guy. Whether he catches it or not, I can't let him get behind me. So to me, I think there's that's got to be some small impact, not a huge impact, but it's got to be a small impact.
No,
on those other two.
I think it's a substantial thing because defensively, that the defensive coaches go over there and look, man, I know you want to try to take this away, but we can't give up this deep. We can't give up this deep ball, and so I definitely think he is got a value there. That's why you'd want to see him. Come on, you got to pick up your confidence. We got to be confident and believe you can catch the football because he can run, and he's got the scary speed. And it plays well with those guys working underneath because a lot of times a safety does want to. They see, well, they're getting ready to run that same route, and he cannot come up because he got this deep threat here. So he definitely plays a big role, but he's got to get more confident, got to be more consistent with catching the football.
2 last questions for you.
Yeah.
Do you think the offensive guard, the right guard, is on this team now? Or do you think they have to make a move to get a true right guard? Because, again, now we have a $51 million quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no experimenting on anything in there because this is about improving his game and protecting his game.
Now, I'm just giving my opinion.
Now, get this, Gary. If they draft a guy, that'll be year 2 that Juergens gets nothing out of that second pick.
That's right. Well, I think they got to feel – now, I don't know that they would be confident enough. It wouldn't be a shock if they liked somebody enough that they're going to pick him with one of those top picks. See, that's what would let you know that they feel that they got to get better, that they don't feel good about everybody that's there now. But I know, they believe in the coach, they believe in the coach and him developing guys. So I would really love to sit down with the opposite line coach, if sit down with him and ask him, because, he's the one that they're going by. Do you feel like the question you're asking me?
Do you feel Juergens can move over and get the job done?
I think they feel he could move over and
don't
get
you
the job
think
done.
We'll know?
Because he's a very good athlete. What's that?
Don't you think we'll know in their actions in the draft if they believe
Yes.
that Jurgens could have done it? Because if
Yes.
they draft 2 or 3 old linemen,
Yes.
we're going to know they don't believe he could just slide over and play the guard position.
Exactly. Meaning that they or especially get somebody, let's say, with that 30th pick or something, or I mean, surely, of course, with the first pick, they're telling you, but they get somebody with that 30th pick, they're telling you, no, we're not sure that kid can move over there and do that. But I think they feel that he can, though. That's the way I feel now. I mean,
I think they like him.
Yeah. And he's a very good athlete, and the kid works. You know, I've seen the kid is a worker, and for a guard, he's a great athlete for a guard and a great athlete as a center. And that's why, they got him thinking with Jason Kelce. I mean, I never saw, a center as good of athlete as this kid.
Agreed.
He's a very good athlete.
I thought maybe Ray Donaldson was in that conversation. Gary, he was a really fine ball player, but
yeah, Jason is a great athlete. But like I said, I'm saying the kid, the youngster, he's a very good athlete too.
I completely agree. Final question for you. How much say do you think Sirianni's going to have in next Thursday's draft? You think he has more say than what Doug did?
I think he's going to have, comparing the two, yes.
Or is it this their approaches are different?
Their approaches are different, and that's why I think Nick probably has more say, because he's not going to be the one to jump up in, in the GM's face and try to make demands. I don't think he's doing it. He's doing it with a softer way, talking to him. Let's say he talks to a guy he likes. He's talking to him about it. But, clearly going in and going at Howie and coming at him straight in his face and everything, that doesn't work. And, because he tried that, Peterson tried that, that didn't work.
So that didn't work. Would you say, Gary, the difference between Nick, personality-wise, and Doug is that Doug has more rough edges, and that was the standoffish relationship at times that they had compared to how he works with Howie, and I think he knows the landscape and his role more than what Doug did.
Well, I think Doug was a lot like him though. See, but what happened is when Doug won that Super Bowl, Doug said, I won a Super Bowl. Yep. I won a Super Bowl. And he might have had some of his buddies in his ear. You know how you can have those buddies in your ear, man. You shouldn't be tolerating that. He got some of those guys in his ear.
Hey, I get what I want. I want a wide receiver. I don't have to ask my dad to go get one.
That's right. That's right. And he got bold, and that's why he's down in Jacksonville, because I don't know who he was talking to, but there was somebody close to him that told him, man, you won a Super Bowl. You shouldn't be putting up with this crap. You go in there and tell him who you want. And he went in and did it, and that's why he's down in Jacksonville.
Hey, I have to leave you with this. I want to leave you with this. So you think Philadelphia feeling really excited that they got this done, or do you think, because you've signed contracts, Ben Simmons deal, Embiid's deal, the guy with the Phillies, his deal, Bryce Harper, all these guys have signed big contracts. How do you think Philadelphia feels about Hurts signing this $255 million deal?
Philadelphia loves Jalen Hurts. I mean, the kid has done everything the right way. They love the kid. So right now, everybody's in love with it. Nobody feels, he got all that money. No, it's not like that. We got Jalen here. Man, we want to win a Super Bowl. We're going after Super Bowl again. And so right now he is very popular. He's the most popular. You think he's the most popular Philadelphia sports star over Bryce Harper? Yes, I think he is. Yes, he is. Because
over Embiid.
Because football is the number one sport.
It is.
And he's the quarterback. And he took them to the dance, and then he performed when they got to the big dance too. So he is the most popular athlete in Philadelphia right now.
Over Bryce Harper and Joel Embiid, Jalen Hurts is the most popular athlete.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Wow.
And you hear him talk all the time, and people love the things he has to say and everything. And like he's come out with something, next you'll see whatever he said on a bunch of towels or whatever. So he is popular. He is the number one guy in Philly, no doubt about it.
Garry, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Don't forget Fox 29. Thank you, Garry.